our next speaker, let's see, we're going to change the...
Sandy Carter.
Yep. Let's come out. Let's give a big hand for Sandy Carter. Come on out, Sandy.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. They told me to break a leg before I came, so I did. So we are going to be talking about, let's see if we can get the whole picture out here. So my name is Sandy Carter. I am the SVP for Unstoppable Domains. Unstoppable Domains is a digital identity company. And in addition, I am the founder of Unstoppable Women of Web3, which really plays into the last session that you just heard about too. So I'm going to be talking about digital identity. We won't have time for questions, obviously, but if you do have questions, you can tweet me at Sandy_Carter as we go along. So I'm going to start out with a little story about my daughters. I have 2 daughters, and every Sunday we do a tradition. We do pancakes. Anybody else have any traditions like that at their families? So my daughters one day, for Sunday pancakes, she brought this picture to me, and she said, "Mom, can you do this pancake?" And I said, "Of course I can make that pancake." You're probably laughing because it's not perfect. And that's where we are today in Web3. We're still in the early stages. We're still in that dial-up phase. And this experimentation just makes us better and better and better. And the same is true with digital identity. So let's talk first about what digital identity is. So this is where we are today. A digital identity in Web3 is an identity that travels with you. It can take you into the metaverse, into a game, into a DeFi app. Basically, it opens up the whole door for you with one way to enter through your domain. Up here you see my digital identity, which is Sandy.NFT, one of our unstoppable domains. And you can see a lot of social media input here, as well as some badges from some great NFTs that I collect. I heard Nyla mention before the long neckies. I have a long necky, I have a BFF, so you can see some badges. On the right is my business profile. So this is my digital identity for business, and it has some more information in it. It connects my email with my wallet. It may also have some of my shopping history in it for what I typically would purchase as we move forward. So a digital identity is essentially the way that you enter any DApp, etc., in the Web3 world. Now, why is that so incredibly important? Well, if you think about Web 2 brought in a lot of big companies who built and grew during another bear market. But as they built and grew, what they offered you was identity that was built on an application. So today, you log into Google, you log into Instagram, you log into Twitter, and as you do that, the information that is collected about you is then sold. So that information stays with the app. So you're a user of that application. You're not a member of that application. And in fact, the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, I believe, is that ownership. Ownership of your data and ownership of your digital identity. So if you really think about the world today, how many people have your shopping history because you're living in that Web 2 world? I know I have a lot because I do most of my shopping today online. What about your banking information? How many people own that information? And as well, how many people own your contacts? Google and Facebook today make $100 billion on selling that information. So in the Web3 world, that digital identity contains all your data, and then you get to make choices around that data. So I'm gonna give you 2 examples. So one is healthcare. So I just moved from one city to another city. Imagine if your digital identity included some of your healthcare information. On Sunday, I was with a group of healthcare startups. They're looking to put your healthcare data inside of that digital identity. Now, why is that valuable? Well, think about how most misdiagnoses happen today. It happens because Your doctors don't share information with each other. And so most diagnoses, 80% are wrong because they don't see the full you. They don't have access to that data. Well, what if you had access to that data and that you could share that healthcare information? When I moved from one city to another, do you know that 50% of my healthcare providers would not give me that data? They would only transfer it to another medical institution. Crazy. So let's talk about schools. I love education. So think about this today. So my youngest daughter wanted to take a course in computer animation. So she signed up at a community college, and I went to get the transcript. Now, do you know what they said to me when I went to get the transcript? Could you fax us your request? First of all, I had to find a fax machine, which is not an easy feat. And then once I faxed them a couple of times, they snail mailed me back the transcript on a piece of paper. Very inefficient. Well, today we're working with a major university to get all that information about your degrees, about your certification that's stored with you on your digital identity. Then you can share that information when you choose to share it, to join alumni groups, or to really, be able to count those accreditations for college as you move forward as well. So very powerful concept, digital identity. So really, where we should be today is that you, as a user, as a member, you should be able to decide what information gets shared with who. It shouldn't be another company or another business, or you even giving rights to share your information simply for the convenience of using someone else's application. All of this really should be owned by us, giving power back to where the internet started, which was decentralized and for people, not necessarily for mega corporations. So Unstoppable Domains is one of those companies today that does digital identity. As I said up front, this is who I work for. Really proud that we were just named one of Forbes' top startups in 2022. And what we enable partners to do is to integrate that login so that that data then is owned by you on the blockchain, shareable by you in the way that you want to have that shared. Login is super and very powerful today. Now, a lot of people will ask me, we have 270 different applications integrated with us today. What's your very favorite application? And I always give this answer, which is, my favorite application hasn't even been imagined yet. It's going to come in the future. But let me give you one more example of possibilities. So we're working with a retailer today, and this retailer told me typically what they do is they buy data from Facebook, which is your data that they're making money off of. Then they assume a 40% fraud rate, because we all have multiple emails. And then they offer us a 10% coupon. But if they could provide a reward for an individual to provide that information, they told me they could give up to a $1,500 discount. And just think about the value that comes back to you, again, the member of that community as we go along. So we're really excited. We have, like I said, 270 partners. Today, one of the partners that we are announcing that's now going to integrate with us is called Shapeshift. One of the reasons I'm really excited about Shapeshift joining the party with us is that they are a DAO-run company. And so their management team didn't vote on or didn't agree, or their CTO didn't say, wow, this is really cool tech. Their DAO voted on integrating in and leveraging this Web3 digital identity as they move into the future. I know that was pretty fast, but I do believe that self-sovereign identity is inevitable. I know people are talking about, well, will it happen, will it not? I just presented yesterday at Columbia Business School to a group of 100 CEOs. I had 3 emphatically tell me that this will never fly because data can never be managed by people. It always needs to be managed by a company. But I believe very passionately as we move forward in this future that we will be able to do this, that the user interfaces will come and it will be built probably by someone in this room today. So this is our partnership with Shapeshift that I just talked about. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself because I was so excited. But this is where we're headed. So please give them a big shout out if you're doing any tweets. They're a great company, again, a Dow-run company. We would love to chat with you. I've included here my email address. I know that's very Web 2, but it's really easy to get relationships started that way. My Twitter ID as well. I would love for you to follow me. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to share today.
Thanks a lot, Sandy.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.